Okay, so the University of Exeter Center for Ecology and Conservation is recruiting a cohort of 20 postgraduate researchers based at the Penryn campus in Cornwall. The initiative is called Engineering Ecosystem Resilience and it's supported by a £500,000 award from ARIA. ARIA stands for the Advanced Research and Invention Agency. If you haven't come across, it's a UK research fund set up specifically to back high risk, high reward research. The kind of work that traditional funding structures tend to find too uncertain to support. Its whole reason for existing is to fund the ideas that might not work but would matter enormously if they did. And here's the part that unusual. So this is the first ARIA supported postgraduate research cohort of its kind, and they are not just funding a set of research projects. Okay, they are trying to build a generation of interdisciplinary researchers. The language in their word is worth listening to because it tells you what they actually want. They describe looking for researchers who are comfortable working at the edge of what is currently possible, who challenge assumptions, and who take on complex environmental problems where the answers are far from obvious. That is a very different brief from a normal scholarship advert. Most adverts want a safe pair of hands, this one is asking for something else. So hold on to that. It matters when we get to the personal statement. So, giving a brief, I would like to talk about or clarify um Master of Research. Okay, so Master of Research, also known as MBRES, it's not a PhD, it's a taught masters. Okay, a taught masters is mostly consists of modules, lectures, coursework, and a dissertation at 10, but a master by research is completely opposite that. I mean, you're going to spend almost all of your time on one independent research project, which is going to be supervised, and you're going to produce a substantial thesis. So you're basically functioning much more like a junior researcher than a student. Okay, so here in UK, I guess it runs up to 2 years full-time or part-time pro rata, and this is a strategic bit you need to understand. A master's by research is one of the strongest route into a funded PhD. Get this straight. You come out with genuine research output, a supervisor who has worked with you closely for 2 years and can write you a serious reference and a demonstrated ability to run your own project. So if you have been applying for PhDs and getting rejected because your research experience is thin, then this is exactly the gap filler that fixes that. So alongside the project, there's a cohort program, advanced research method training, workshop, interdisciplinary collaboration, and engagement with people from academia, industry, policy, and the environmental sector. So there are also opportunities for secondments across research groups and partner organizations where it fits your project. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about what the funding is basically going to cover. So in this section, I would like you to pay attention, and instead of losing the flow, um, I'm going to talk about the financial conditions. Okay, so here is what the award covers: home tuition fees for up to 2 years, full time or pro rata if you study part time. Okay, so plus what they describe as a generous research and training support grant. That's a budget for your actual research and your training, which is a real and valuable thing. Here is what it doesn't cover. Keep this in mind. Living expenses for anybody. The page states plainly that successful applicants will need to cover their own living costs. There is no stipend attached to it, not even a small one. So there is none. Okay. So the award only covers the value of the fees. Okay, international fee paying students are eligible to apply. They are clear about that, and I want to be fair to them. They haven't hidden it, but the numbers are what they are. In 2026 to 2027, the home fee is £5,238, while the international fee is £28,900, and it goes up the following year. So if you are paying international fees, the award covers roughly around 5,000 of a 29,000 pound bill, and you find the remaining 23,000 for yourself every year on top of your living costs. So on top of the visa fee, the immigration health surcharge, and all relocation costs to get the UK. I'm not telling you that to discourage you. Okay, I'm telling you because the phrase funded scholarship get used very loosely, and I would rather you hear the real number from me now than discover it after you have chased two references and written a personal statements. So there's one more logistical point of this. If you are an international applicant, you need to already be in the UK before the program starts on the 21st of September with your student visa and your ATAS clearance in place. And this is the hard requirement, and given where we are in July, the timeline is extremely tight. So who this is realistically for? Okay, so let me be useful and just tell you who should apply if you have home free students status in the UK. Okay, so you meet the academic requirements and you have a workable plan for supporting yourself for 2 years. For you, this is genuinely excellent award. Your fees are covered, you get a real research budget, and you are in ARI backed cohort, and you come out position for a funded PhD. Apply if you are an international applicant who has a separate funding, a sponsor, family support, or savings that generally cover the fee gap and living costs. It's a strong opportunity and you're eligible. Don't apply if you're an international applicant hoping the fee gap will somehow work itself out later. It won't. And Exeter will ask you to demonstrate you have the funds. So that's not me being harsh, it's just the structure of the word, okay? One thing on home fee status, because it's more complicated than people assume. If you have moved to or from the UK or the Republic of Ireland in the last 3 years, or you have applied for settled status under the EU settlement scheme, your fee status is generally not obvious. The university says as much. If there's any chance you might qualify as a home student, email the admission team and ask before you rule yourself out. The single email could be worth £23,000 a year to you. Talking about the full entry requirements, you'll typically need a first class or an upper second class degree that's a 2:1 in biology or a related subject, or an equivalent qualification from another country. But note the wording carefully. These specific requirements may vary, and they encourage prospective applicants to contact the team. That related subject phrase is doing a lot of work, and with 20 different projects across an interdisciplinary program, the range of relevant background is wider than biology suggests. Okay, so the wider network describes spans environmental modeling, data science, genomics, climate impacts, and environmental engineering. So, if a background is in data science or environmental engineering or geography or statistics, you're not automatically out. Email and ask. Worst case, they say no, and that costs you 5 minutes. If English isn't the first language, you'll need to meet the university's English language requirements. Those are published on the Exeter postgraduate pages, and I will check them early because sorting a test at short notice is the thing, and it requires applications and calendar dates. Okay, what are the documents that you need for this application? 5 things. Get this lined up now because two of them depend on one another. Okay, so first is your CV, second is your personal statement, um, third is your transcript with full details of the subjects you studied and the grades that you have obtained. Fourth is your English language evidence if you're not a national of a majority English speaking country. Fifth is your two references, and there are rules on this, so listen. They should go through the application portal where possible. If your referee can't upload it themselves, it can be sent directly to the admissions email, but they will not accept references from personal or private email accounts unless it's a scanned document or institutional headed paper signed by the referee. So message your referees today, not tomorrow. With an 8-day window, referees are your bottleneck, and a referee using a personal Gmail address will invalidate the reference. One small detail that tells you something about how they work: they ask for PDFs, each named with a surname, and the document name smith-cv.pdf. Okay, smith-cover letter.pdf. Do exactly that. It's a tiny thing, but when someone is processing large volumes of the application following the stated format, it is the cheapest possible way to look like you are paying attention. So now, how to apply step by step. The application itself goes through the apply now button, which you can see on the screen, which I've linked in the description. The link of it is given. Step 1, go to the award page and read it properly yourself. I'm summarizing and the details are going to change obviously. Step 2, before you start for the form, go to the Center for Ecology and Conservation webpage and look at the list of supervisors, themes and research projects. You'll need this because the personal statement asks you to name up to 3 that you are interested in. Step 3, line up your referees today. Step 4, write the personal statement coming up next. Step 5, collect everything as correctly named PDFs and then submit. And if you have a question about a specific project or about whether your background fits, there are two academics names for academic inquiries, Dr. Sharma and Dr. Posma, and a general admission address for process questions. Quote reference 5892 in your subject line. All the contact details on the official page. I'd rather uh, tell you to take them from there and then for me. Okay, so a short notice on what to put in a personal statement. This is where the application is going to be a winning situation or losing situation for you, because there are specific requirements, and I feel the most applicants we will be like queuing themselves what to do. So the statement has to include why you are interested in interdisciplinary approaches to research, and it has to express your preferences of up to three supervisors, themes, or projects. Two thoughts on that. On the interdisciplinary question, most people will answer this generically. They'll write that they believe collaboration across field is important and that the complex program require diverse perspectives, that it is true and it is worth nothing because everyone will write that. Answer it with a specific instance instead. A moment where your own discipline couldn't answer the question in front of you and you had to reach into another one. A project where the method that work came from somewhere unexpected, even a frustration at time you could see that the way your field frames a problem was part of why it wasn't getting solved. Okay. On the three project preferences, do not pick three at random to seem flexible. Pick one that generally connects to what I've done and say briefly why for each one. Two sentences each is enough, and you are demonstrating that you read the list and thought about it, which is a surprisingly rare signal. Okay, now I want to talk about the deadlines, interviews, and next step. To close the dates one more time, applications are going to close on the 31st of July 2026, but reviewed weekly, awarded on a rolling basis, and closing early once all 20 are gone. Interviews are running between the 1st of July and the 8th of August. So if you don't progress to interview, you should expect to hear within 2 to 3 weeks of applying. Awards will be made by the end of August or sooner, and the program is going to start on the 21st of your September. So the honest summary now, if you have home fee status and this is your field, stop watching and start the application. If you are international applicant, run the numbers I gave you against your own situation first, and if it doesn't add up, don't spend the week on it. I'll have the things for you that too. And I'll give you other opportunities if I come across. I know some of you have told me you find opportunities here after they have closed, and that's exactly why I led the deadline on this rather than barring it at the end. Always check the official page before you commit time, it's linked below. Next up, I'm doing a full guide to the Nordics where PhD positions are salaried employment rather than the scholarships, which for international students is a completely different financial picture from what we just looked at. Subscribe so you catch it, and tell me in the comments, do you want a proper video on the UK funding routes for international students and which ones actually cover full fees? And because after making this one, I think a lot of you might need it. So thanks for watching. Good luck if you apply, and I'll see you in the next video.